Good morning and welcome to this episode of Let's Have a Lukic. I'm joined by Luke. Morning, Luke.
Good morning. That sounds funny when you said that. I'm joined by Luke and Let's Have a Lukic. But good mate. Had a few beers last night. Towing a little bit today, but we've got another day on. I better sort of put my ideas up and get out. Really, I'm back.
And you're spending today in the shadow of a hateful place, as I understand it, but actually going in.
Yeah, no, I'm not going in. But yeah, going to Old Trafford cricket ground to watch the Cortinas. So yeah, it should be a good day.
Yeah, be a good one. Right, okay, let's get an intro going and we'll get into it. Right, there we are. Aussie Whites is along. Evening.
He's always
Aussie Whites.
He's always here.
One of the faithful. Right, so, she, absolutely right. So we've got Stats joining us, so we'll crack straight on. So we've got a few fixtures to look at today. So we'll get straight into those. So a bit of a mouth-watering clash this morning. We're looking at, just early afternoon, we're looking at Chelsea Man City. So I'll come to you first, Luke, and then I'll share my thoughts. So what's your thoughts on this one?
It's got all the ingredients for an absolute classic, hasn't it? But I just got a feeling that they're going to neutralise each other, and it's not going to be, when Sky build games up, it always tends to be a shit game, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just think there'll be too much. Sky will be bigging it up far too much, and yeah, they'll neutralise each other. I think it'll be a win by 1 goal either way, and I think it'll be 1-0. And I'm going to actually go for Chelsea.
Fair, okay. So actually, if you look at the Chelsea fans and their comments at the moment, I had a bit of a scan around the timelines and hashtags of the clubs. They're actually looking forward to seeing Chelsea play without Mason Mount in. And I think that actually him being unavailable will mean they'll be more effective in the final third, and they're feeling a bit more confident with him not being in. Young man,
wow,
tidy on the ball, but without much of a product. Does that remind you of anybody? Fans getting on the case.
yeah.
Or Tyler. But yeah, so I think it'll be tight as well, and I think there'll be a lot of them cancelling each other out. But I've gone with a 1-1 on that one. So I will make a note again of the score. So you've gone 1-0 Chelsea on that one.
I have, yeah. I just think City are missing, and I know they still scored a lot of goals, but they're still missing that key number 9. They've never really replaced Aguero, have they? And I think that'll be the difference in the side today. I think Lukaku will be the difference. Yeah,
okay, that's fine. And actually, I completely missed this. I thought all of the others were going to be 3 o'clock or the late kickoff. The Scum are playing Villa at the same time Chelsea are playing City, which is a bit of an odd one. I don't know what that's about. But so Scum at home against Villa at 12:30. Where do you see this one going?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, they're both playing good football, aren't they? I think it's a difficult one to call. I think Villa are playing some real decent stuff, but I just think, I know Man U have had some, and Scum have had some funny results recently, losing to young boys and whatnot, but I just think they'll have too much at home against Villa today. I'm going to go for 2-0 Scum. Yeah.
I think again. I think this will be a tight one. I think just the odd goal. So I mean, you're right. They have had some odd results, but they are up there. I think I can't look past the Scum, but I think Bailey's had a real impact on Villa, and I think that he might be the player that not replaces Grealish, because I think he was a different type of player, but he's the one
more
that
direct,
catalyses them. Yeah, but he's the catalyst for them going forwards, and I think he looks an handy player. I don't like either of these clubs, but I hate the Scum more. But I can't look past the Scum win. So I think it'll be a 2-1 the Scum on that one.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably around about right, mate.
Right, we're getting to the 3 o'clock. So Everton Norwich is the first one. So just to look at the league placings, there were a lot of rumblings with our draw against Everton. A lot of people felt that we deserved a bit more than a draw against them. But they're lying in 6th with 10 points from 5 games. Norwich are rock bottom and look terrible. I think from my perspective, they've got. I think Everton have got Dean back, who had been out with a calf strain. Pickford back, who had missed a couple of games. I think they're both pretty big players for them, and I think Everton will be far too strong for Norwich today. Your thoughts?
Yeah, mate, I can't disagree with that. They're looking tidy outfit this season. Norwich look their typical. Oh, can you hear me all right still?
Yeah, you're back. Just cut out a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I keep jumping on and off. I probably my brother's cheap internet type bastard. But yeah, no. Look, it's a really tidy outfit. Really compact and difficult to beat, as they showed at Ellen Road. I can't see anything past. I mean, they've got James Rodriguez off the books now as well, which is probably giving them a bit of a headache. He's gone. He's gone to a Qatari side, and I've forgotten the name of him.
I've seen rumblings. I've not seen confirmation that he'd left. Right,
yeah,
okay.
He's gone as well. So they've freed up a bit more money as well to to play with. So I thought I'd see Everton convincingly. I don't even expect Norwich to score. I'm going to go Everton 3-0.
I've gone 3-0 on that one.
Have you?
Although that's the first one. I mean, last week I think we were pretty much spot on. So I mean, we've only gone the odd goal on the others, but you've gone Chelsea. I went draw. You went 2-0 Scum. I went 2-1 Scum. So that's the first one we've been the same on. Okay, we'll carry on down. So we're going to skip over the Leeds West Ham one. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I'll let you go into that a bit more detail. Stats.
So Leicester Burnley is the next one. Leicester at home, and they're looking at Johnny Evans coming back in, who I think is a decent player for them. 5 months. So I think he played midweek in the cup. 5 months he's been out. So that's probably a bit of a shot in the arm for them. Where do you see this one going?
Look, Burnley are always a bit difficult side to beat, but Leicester have got some absolutely outstanding players, Tillemans and whatnot as well. So I imagine he's playing, isn't he? He's not injured or anything.
No, there's no news of him being out.
No, Tillemans and various others. You can't look past it. I mean, I know he's knocking on a bit now, but Vardy and the other attacking options that they've got. Again, can't see anything but a Leicester win. But anti-football Burnley will do their best to try and not lose. So I'm going to go for it. I think it'll either be an odd goal in it or an absolute thrashing. But I'm going to go for the odd goal. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester.
When you say thrashing, I'm assuming you mean Leicester might just spank him if they get an early goal. And
if they get an early goal, and Burnley they've got to chase a goal then, haven't they? To try and get that lucky 1 point that they need to stop every season. So, I think if Leicester do score early on, then it's a completely different ball game, and it might be 3 or 4-0, 5-0 maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one because I've gone 3-0 Leicester. I think they will get that early goal. So I'd pulled out some stats on this one. So Vardy's had 5 in his last 6 appearances. Maddison tends to always play well against Burnley. I look back over some of the appearances he'd had previously, and he's looking to make his 200th appearance as well. So a bit of a milestone for him as well. So he'll be up for it. And Leicester haven't lost to Burnley for 10 home league games.
Right.
So it's a fixture they look forward to by the looks of it. So I mean, all of that could be wrong, and Burnley just pox a 1-0 win. You never know, but. There must be. And the other one was Rodgers has never lost against Burnley.
Bloody hell, that's some stat.
It is. So it's one of those where I can't see past Leicester, and I think they will get that early goal. 2-1 yourself on that one, 3-0 me. And then the last of the 3 o'clocks is Watford versus Newcastle. What a mouth-watering
Oof.
clash that's going to be.
Spectacle down at Vicarage. I have to be honest, mate. I don't know much about Watford. I haven't really stayed up to date with their performances. I know they've got a couple of half decent players. That is it. Dennis up front for them, and obviously there you got Sam Maximan or Sam Maxim, however you say his name, for Newcastle. I think the game will be won with who has the best game of those two. I think it's going to be that close. I think whoever has the best game from, pretty much shit versus bollocks. You know what I mean? Apart from those two strikers who tend to be like far too good for the clubs that they're at. But I'm going to go for a score draw, and I think it's going to be quite a few goals in it. I'm going to go 2-2.
Cool. Okay. So I mean, to break the tension, I've gone for a score draw as well, but I've gone 1-1. So I think if you look at Newcastle, Lascelles got a leg injury. They're already missing Wilson. Shelby is a decent player for them. You know, he's the passer. He's the one that they'll look at to try and move them forward. So I can't see. And Joe Willock may be missing for them as well. I think he's injured a toe in training or something this week. And I have seen a little bit of Watford. They looked quite handy against Norwich. But then again, I think Dog and Duck probably would. So you can't really say much about that. So, I've gone score draw as well, just purely because I don't see either of them keeping a clean sheet, but I don't think either of them are any good. Which, you know, we drew against Newcastle, so I don't know what that says about our form at the moment, but we'll move on from that. And on to the late kickoff. So we've got Brentford at home against Liverpool. Brentford have started off quite well, and I think have raised a few eyebrows and opened some eyes as to what they can do. And I think when you look at the coaches, I'm not going to talk about Teeth. I'm just going to talk about the other one. I mean, mind the gap, Thomas Frank annoys people. He rubs people up the wrong way, but you can't knock what he's done with that club. I don't think anybody saw him starting the way that they have, and a lot of people thought that the bottle promotion as well again. So they've started pretty well, but it's going to be a tough afternoon. Where do you see this one going?
Yeah, look, you've invited Liverpool into the backyard. It's going to be a tough day, no matter what sort of team you've got or coach or whatever. But I think you're right in what you say about Thomas Frank and the job he's done at Brentford, and the recruitment has been fantastic there. You know, they've spent arguably a lot of money on players that have come from lower leagues, but actually done the job. You know, you look at that, Ivan Toney, they signed him from, was it Peterborough, I think?
Peterborough, yeah. They've done that a lot, though, haven't they? They've picked up a lot of players from Peterborough.
Picked up a lot of not necessarily bargains, but quite expensive for your lower leagues, because the guy who owns Peterborough just won't sell players for cheap. He's not in it for that. So, they just seem to make real good value for money out of players. And Thomas Frank, there's no argument. He's done a good job. He's got a small shit club in London promoted into the Premier League. You can't argue against it. But I just think it'll be a tough day at home today. I think they might get a bit of a culture shock. They've not really. Did they beat Spurs on opening day?
Arsenal won it.
Arsenal, that's right. And they've not really had much of a test since, if I remember right. They've not played anyone else in the top sort of 6 or 7, have they? I can't remember. Anyway, but I just think
they might have actually played Spurs as well. Now I think of it, they might have.
Long and short of it is, I think they'll get a bit of a hiding today from the Premier League bully boys, and I think it'll be convincing as well. I think it'll be 3-0. I think they'll do the same job as what they did on us.
3-0, right? Okay, I've gone 3-1. I think Brentford are dangerous on the break, and I think that actually they're one of the sides. So if you look at us last season, I mean, somebody's said in the comments, Brentford looking like this season's Leeds, and I think one of those is the way that they play football and the way that they run and the press and the harry, and that's what we were doing. And actually, we've not quite looked at the same pace this season, have we? And I think that's something where you've got to earn the right to play, and I think that they will, and I think that they'll benefit from that. But I can't see them shutting out Liverpool anything like enough to get the result. So I've gone 3-1. I think Brentford will get a goal. Tough afternoon for them. What was you said? 3-0.
3-0 Liverpool.
Cool. And into tomorrow's fixtures. So the earlier fixtures, 2:00 kickoff, is Saints Wolves. Where we're going?
Yeah, tough one. Wolves have been really. They've looked relatively good whenever I've watched them, but the results have not been great. And it's a real tough one. That it's similar with Southampton. They look shite on paper, but they've been playing all right as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a real tough one. I'm going to have to go with a draw. I don't think I can separate them, to be fair. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, and that stands up when you look at their league positioning at the moment. They're in 15th and 16th. There's 1 point separating them, so that stands up. 1 draw. I went last week. I went Wolves on the basis that I think Jimenez will kick into gear, and they're creating the chances, and they're playing, like you said, they're playing quite well, but not getting the results. I think he's had the most shots in the league, but really? I don't think he's got a goal yet. So I think he's too good. And at the end of the game, I think he took off his protective headgear and said, "No, I'm not having any of that. I need to get into this." So I'm going to stick my neck out, and I'm going to say that he's going to have a good day again, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Wolves.
He's not in your fantasy Premier League by any chance?
I haven't bothered this year because I always forget to update my team and don't do well enough. So I haven't bothered.
You seem to back him a lot. That's all. Like, oh, come on, David, please get me an entry.
He's a quality player. He's just not done it, has he? So,
no.
And then the late kickoff tomorrow is the second biggest derby of the weekend, and I'll come on to that in a minute. Is Arsenal Tottenham in the North London derby? Yes. Where are we going here?
I mean, look, Arsenal have turned it around a little bit. They've had 3 wins on the bounce, I think, including the cup. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe
so. So look, they're finding a little bit of form. Probably just about saved Arteta's job, I would say, because 3 games ago I was asking whether he's probably going to lose his job if they lost the last game.
Yeah.
So Spurs still not really firing, although obviously got Son and everyone available. I think today I don't think they've got many injuries. So I think it'll be quite a good game. That it's at the Emirates, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's at the Emirates, yeah. I'm going to go for a score draw in this one. I think there's going to be a few goals in it. I think there's probably going to be a red card or 2 as well. I think it's going to be quite a feisty one. Both teams try and back their way back into the sort of top part of the table. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 on that one. So, do you know what? You might be absolutely spot on with that red card shout because Granit Xhaka's back in contention for them. Now, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't rate him particularly highly. I think he really causes them problems. He's not good enough. He's not at the races and he's not been training. But I suspect that he'll play. So I think Spurs might just edge this. So Kane and Son are both available, and that we've seen what that partnership can do. So I just think a 2-1 on that one because Jack, I would have gone score draw as well had Jackie not been playing. Basically, that's how highly I rate him. And then obviously that massive clash of the Titans and that huge local derby on Sunday night is Palace Brighton at Palace. I don't get how this is a derby. I really don't understand it. They're about 40 miles apart or something like that.
Probably more than that, to be fair.
So I don't get it, but they hate each other. Really nobody else cares. I think maybe that might be it. It's because nobody else cares about them. They've found the only other club in any sort of locality and go, right, we'll hate them instead.
Do you want to fight? Nah, I do a fuck. Do you want to fight? Nah, I do a fuck. You're fucking Crystal Palace, mate. You're Brighton, mate. Do you want to fight? So I tell you what, we'll just fucking fight each other.
So I think if you look at the signings Palace have made and the change that they've made in managerially wise, yeah, Vieira is quite a young manager if you look at it, especially if you compare him to Roy. And the players that they brought in are quite young as well. I still think they're missing Eze, but I think any side would. He's a quality player. But some of the players that they brought in, they're young, they're hungry, and they look like they've got that desire. I think one of the things that I said at the start of the season is that their issue will come when the difficult part of the season comes and how they come through it, because it's the experience and not the capability that's not there. For me, I think if you look at the results, there's been some surprising results for both sides. But I think Palace at home in their big derby, I think Palace might edge this one. But I think it'll be quite high scoring. I'm going to go 3-2 on this one.
Right. Yeah, I think you're quite right in what you say about their tough part of the season will come when Zaha can't be asked for a game, because he seems to look quite interested at the minute. You know, he's playing quite well. That Osman Edouard looks like an absolute bargain for what they paid for him. I know they paid a fair bit for him, but he's already bagging. Do you know what I mean? It's the type of return you want for a money signing. And yeah, I think you're quite right. Brighton turned a couple of teams over. They're doing all right in the league, a lot better than probably anyone, including they, expected at this stage of the season. But where was I going with that? That was it. Yeah, I think you're quite right as well in what you say. I think you're quite right in what you say about home advantage probably just edges this one. The megaphone nonce gets out and probably just sucks the ball into the goal maybe one more time than Brighton. So yeah, I think I think both sides will score, and I think it'll be a 2-1 home win, Palace.
2-1. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for your time. I know that we are quite timely on the stats piece, and Stats has just jumped in. I can see him there waiting in the lobby. So we'll just bring him in. You can say your hellos, and then Luke,
good
morning. Off and get yourself to your gig.
Good morning, Stats. Yeah. You all good?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah, good. In a footballing weekend, and I know we've said it the past few weeks, but an opportunity this afternoon to finally get that first league win on the board, all being well. It won't be easy against the West Ham side who come into the game, I'm sure, full of confidence after their victory at Old Trafford in the League Cup.
Oh, okay. Right, well, we'll get straight into it. Luke, are you going to stick around, or are you going to drop off and get yourself over to the dark side of the Pennines?
Oh, I've lost you all there. Right, I'm going to shoot anyway. Have a glitch. I'm going to go shoot.
We'll see you later, Luke.
I'm going to go neck my body weight in beer. I'll see you all later.
See you later, mate. Cool. Right, we'll get straight into it then, Stats. I know we're a bit limited on time today. Just to get straight into it. So we've not done any preview of the Leeds game while I've been on with Luke. We've just looked at the other fixtures across the weekend. I do have most of our predictions in, and it's reading quite interesting at the moment. But I'll come to you first. If you just want to give us a bit of a view of how you think that's going to go.
It's a strange one today. Having watched a lot of West Ham this season, they're a very good counter-attacking side. Obviously, we expect Mikel Antonio to be back in the starting 11. I know he missed the League Cup tie at Old Trafford.
It was interesting, that, wasn't it? I know that he'd been out for the scum game in the league, but to not even be on the matchday squad struck me as odd.
Yeah, it ended up being a masterstroke, didn't it, for David Moyes' side?
Right, yeah.
To be honest with you, because they went through, I think Manuel Lanzini got the only goal, and they were very, very good at Old Trafford on Wednesday night. Leeds are a bit short defensively at the moment. Obviously, we know Pascal Strike's still suspended. Diego Llorente is unfit. Robin Cox unfit. We don't know about Luke Ayling yet. He did come off the coach at the hotel last night. So did Rafinha, but like Rafinha was limping. Yeah. Thank you for Rugby League Lady for that video on Twitter.
I saw that one as well.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call. As I think the home crowd have a real pivotal role to play this afternoon. I think it'd be important for the side to look. The crowd always back the team, come rain or shine. I think it'll be a draw. I think if they can get a draw, I don't think that's a bad result today with the injuries. Obviously, no Patrick Bamford up top today. It's an opportunity for Rodrigo to really claim a place in the starting 11. I think Tyler will probably play. Interesting to see whether Somerville fits in this afternoon. But I'm going to sit on the fence and go 1-1.
1-1, okay. So I think it'll be interesting for me. I know that there's been this experiment, let's call it, of Big Rod playing in the 10 role.
Yes.
Now, when he hasn't, it's typically been Tyler.
Yes.
Now, they both want to play number 9.
Yes.
So for me, it's interesting. I think, putting my Bielsa hat on, I think that he wants to get minutes into Rodrigo in the 9 position. But
Correct.
How do you see them lining up today? Do you think they'll either whichever one starts up front? Do you think one will drop off, one will move up, or do you think they'll remain as they are?
I think we now be able to play with that one up top, Gilly Dome. We've seen it for the past 3 and a bit seasons. I think it'll be Rodrigo up top. I think that's Rodrigo's natural position. We saw back in the last season when he does play up top, he's a very, very good player, and he's worth the money that we've spent on him. So I think for me, and I think Rodrigo probably needs a goal more than Tyler needs a goal. I think the criticism of Tyler on social media is very unfair. He's still a young boy. He's gaining experience game by game by game. I'm absolutely certain. Look, we went to the Euros of Wales, for goodness sake, in the summer. So he's not doing badly as far as I'm concerned. And I think from a Leeds fan's perspective, they always like a scapegoat, don't they? There's always somebody that they like to pick on. Before Bielsa came as Calvin Phillips, and now Calvin's an England international, nearly 20 caps under his belt. So, yeah, for me, I personally would go Rodrigo up top and Roberts in behind. And I think Tyler could probably cause some problems in behind. It's not going to be easy today. We know that. They've got some world-class players, and I'm intrigued to see the battle between 2 best friends from the Euros, and Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. I think that'll be a really intriguing battle in the middle of the park.
Well, it's one of those, actually, where Calvin's more likely to pick up the likes of Souček, isn't he? Because he plays further forward. I mean, you're right to call out that battle, because I think that's the key battle. They probably won't face up against each other, but whichever one of them comes out on top gives their side the best opportunity to get a result, don't they?
Yeah, very much so. And look, they've got players all around the pitch in the likes of Lanzini, Fornals, Yarmolenko if he starts. Obviously, the big battle today is going to be with Mikel Antonio. I'm sure he'll start for West Ham. I'm thinking that'll be thinking behind David Moyes and Stuart Pearce's selection at Old Trafford midweek. So, Liam Cooper, I think versus Mikel Antonio is going to be a really intriguing battle. But the big question mark is who partners the captain in the central defence. Will he throw in Charlie Cresswell, who I thought was fantastic at Craven Cottage midweek? I don't think you've got many other options unless Luke Ayling is fit. If Ayling is fit, obviously he'll go with Ayling and Cooper. But if not, I think his options are limited. I think you've got to go with Cooper and Cresswell, because you can't put Phillips at the back there in a league game. I think you need Calvin a little bit further forward to protect the back four. It's okay doing it in a Carabao Cup tie, should I say, against Fulham. Premier League's a different kettle of fish, and I think you need Calvin there to protect the back four this afternoon, rather than playing in front of the back, rather than playing in the back four.
Agreed. Yeah, I think Calvin probably had one of his worst games for a long time for us in the cup. He didn't really do much wrong.
No, he didn't.
Just can't impose himself on the game when he's playing in the back line the way that he does in midfield. So
he can't influence the game, Gilly, can I? When he's in the back, he can't influence the game as he can when he's protecting the back four. So I'm hoping that if Ayling isn't fit, I personally would expect him to throw Cresswell in. And I think Cresswell's ready. Look, his performance on Tuesday night didn't put a foot wrong at Craven Cottage.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But at the same time, it's a very different proposition, isn't it? A West Ham that's playing well in the league, that's going well. They've got some big, strong players, not just up front, but in midfield as well, that'll push on and that'll end up in the box whenever the ball's in our final third and so on. So I do agree with what you're saying. He's a centre back, and we need a centre back. So that's good. The other thing is, There were a lot of talk just before the cup game that Firpo's played centre back before as well, and therefore he could end up moving inside with Dallas picking up. But again, that depends on who's available in midfield.
Correct. Because we don't have a situation, obviously, with Jack Harrison yet. I think
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, I've not seen any confirmation as to whether Jack is available or not.
No, none at all. And Rafinha came off the coach yesterday, but it looked like he was limping a little bit. So we'll find out in a couple of hours' time with and what have you. But look, I get a feeling, Gilly, when it's backs against the wall, like it is this afternoon, that brings the best out of Leeds. I'll always remember a few years ago, Bielsa's first season. We played Bristol City at Ellen Road, and Bailey Peacock-Farrell was, I think, injured. The reserve goalkeeper Jamal Blackman broke his leg in a reserve game the day before. Threw in young Will Huffer, threw in Appleham's debut. We won 2-0. So, look, backs against the wall, but we're in the Premier League for these types of games, and this is getting the juices flowing. Yeah. And I love a good battle against West Ham. Some great battles down the years. So yeah, bring it on this afternoon. Hopefully, we'll take something from the game.
Cool. Okay. So we'll jump right into the bit that everybody tunes in for. So we'll move on to the stats. So I'd like to do the we can still do the played for both, but let's jump straight into the stats and away you go. What we got?
Yeah, well, it's taken a little bit of a while to try and think of different things. Also, look at the opponents. We'll start off the last league victory we had against West Ham. At Ellen Road in the Premier League was back on February the 8th, 2003. And a guy called Seth Art Morris Johnson. Yeah, that's his real name. Art Morris Johnson scored the winning goal on a 1-0 victory for Leeds that day. And funnily enough, looking at the teams that day, we had striker problems because we had James Milner and Eric Backer up front that day. Smith, Viduka, I think Bridges were all injured. Fowler had been sold. So yeah, we had all sorts of injury problems that day, and then Don Macho got injured, so replaced by Matt Kilgallen, who's our commentary today for Radio Leeds. The last debutant in this fixture at Ellen Road. There's a teaser. Remember Raul Bravo, who signed Real Madrid?
Real Madrid.
Yeah, absolutely dreadful. I remember seeing the headline on teletext, Leeds signed Raul, and signed the wrong Raul. Another one for you, if Matthias Klick scores in this particular game, as he scored in the game Ellen Road between the two sides last season, he'll become the first Leeds player since Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank to score consecutive home games against the Hammers in season 97, 98 and 98, 99. So there's another opportunity for Klick to try and get a goal. I think Hasselbank got 2 in the game in 97, 98 when they won 3-1. I think he got 1 in the 4-0 hammering back in 98, 99. And one other one, should Klick play, which I'm sure he will, he'll draw level with Chris White, a former Hammer, actually. I had a loan spell on loan at West Ham on 147 league appearances for Leeds United, playing on 150. And fingers crossed, Bill does make it today because he's 2 away from the double century on 198 games. And just another one on the debutants. We had a second debutant, ironically, in this fixture back in season 95-96. Unfortunately, he didn't last long. Lee Chapman. He came back for his second debut against West Ham in season 95-96. Actually, obviously, we'll come to play for both shortly. But yeah, he set up Thomas Brolin's goal, and then he got sent off for an elbow on Matt Reaper. So that was that for Lee Chapman. So yeah, plenty of little things to get into. And I think that's a game that Bryn Law probably commentated on. And of course, Bryn's doing the commentary for LUTV this afternoon. So yeah, plenty to get into. So yeah, and there's your little Leeds United West Ham stats for the afternoon.
Excellent. Well, you've set us up perfectly there with the played for both. So Lee Chapman's the first one. I know that what we tend to do is we go around the group. Not much of a group today. It's just the two of us. And I'm not going to put my knowledge up against you, Stats. But if you want to run through a few, and I'll chip in a couple.
Yeah, I've got a few. Mervyn Day, brilliant goalkeeper for Leeds United. Obviously, massive part of the promotion league season in 89-90. Robert Snodgrass, who had spells at both Leeds and West Ham. I don't know where Snoddy is at the moment. I think he's somewhere, but I'm not sure he is at the moment, if he's still at West Ham or not. Sam Byram. Leeds actually sold to West Ham, I think, in the January of 2016, off the top of my head. Robbie Keane had a loan spell at West Ham, also had a spell at Leeds United in the early 2000s. Also, we mentioned Lee Chapman. Brian Dean had a spell at both.
I didn't know Dean played for West Ham.
He did. Brian Dean scored a goal for West Ham that denied Wigan before the year Leeds United got relegated. Of course, the the transfer that probably sent shockwaves through Ellen Road back in November 2000 at Rio Ferdinand, that joined Leeds for 18 million pounds. Matt Kilgallen, pardon me. I just spell it both sides. I think he was on loan at West Ham. George McCartney, do you remember him? A left back at Leeds there. I think he came in at the end of the season and didn't want to sign for Leeds. And I'll finish off on one Lee Bowyer, who the infamous transfer to West Ham back in January 2003. And he didn't get a nice kind of round of applause back at Ellen Road when he came back for that 1-0 game that Seth Johnson scored that we're in. So plenty of stuff to get involved. Plenty that played for both, and just very much looking forward to the game at Ellen Road this afternoon.
You've just missed one legend, one absolute legend of the game in Hogan Ephraim.
Hogan Ephraim.
I think he only loaned to us, didn't he? Scored one goal.
He did against Accrington Stanley. Ironically, the game where Leeds last didn't use an academy player in the matchday squad. I know there's a lot of talk about that. Obviously, with
is that the one that sticks out? That's the odd one out.
That's the last game that we didn't use an academy player in, and that was 586 games ago.
There you go. Wow.
Building up to the 600th game, but academy, brilliant, great game last night. Joe Geldat probably on the bench this afternoon, but the future is very, very bright for Leeds United.
He's looking good, isn't he? He's looking good. And I know that we've talked about that big gulf between the 23s and the first team, but everybody's got that problem to overcome. And our under 23s looks better than a lot of others. So that yardstick, it does look bright.
Of course it does. And
cool.
With the injuries we've got, Gilly, it's an opportunity to present for the likes of Somerville, McKinstry, Geldat to come into the side, and also Charlie Cresswell as well. So very much looking forward to it all.
Yeah, the only one that I was a little bit surprised at is I thought Drama might get an appearance, and we've not seen him.
No, it'd be good to see him. I think left back is a position at the moment we're probably a little bit covered in there with obviously Stuart Dallas can play there, obviously Junior Firpo can play there as well. So it's promising, and you see the performance of the Mark Jackson side. What a job he's done is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen them get down to York's new ground, it's a very state-of-the-art ground as well, down there in North Yorkshire. So, the future is very, very bright.
Cool. Okay, we should call it there. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to Luke for joining me for the Let's Have a Lukic, and thanks very much for Stats for jumping on and imparting your knowledge as you do.
We'll do it again.
So anybody going to the game today, we really actually need you. Let's make some noise. I shall be there. Stats, are you going to be there?
I'll be there. Very much looking forward to it.
Excellent. So thanks very much, everybody, for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that shite. And we'll see you again soon.